Hello students, welcome back to the maths class. Today we are going to start some further questions of properties of sets. Already we have started type number 5 and as you know two more types are required to finish in the chapter. Okay, so we are starting now with the question number 5. Now whatever the questions are given, these all questions I have taken from your textbook from the miscellaneous exercise. In this exercise there are many questions are given based upon the properties of sets. Okay, now these questions when we are solving it, this question do not have some numerical values. Okay, with the help of facts, with the help of definitions, we have to solve it. So as you can see the question number 5, they are saying assume that power set of A is equal to power set of B. Then we have to show that A is equal to B. Set A will be equal to set B. So see here some definitions, some rules we shall implement and then we will achieve the required result. So before begin with this question, first of all I will give you some definitions, or you can say some rules I will give you, and then we can start the solutions. So first one, the first rule I am going to use in this question is, suppose if I have suppose I say if every element of x, every element x of A is lies in A. Suppose if I talk about set A, and in set A some elements are lying over there, maybe 5 elements are there, 10 elements are there. Okay, but here I am taking the notation for all the elements or the representative of all the elements as an element x. Okay, and after some time if I show, suppose with the help of some fact, with the help of some definition, if I show all that elements lies in B also, okay, then we can say that A will be subset of B. Normally we can say like that, because suppose if I say that every element of A lies in B, then A will be a subset of B. Here every element we are denoting by a symbol X. So here also when we shall start the proof of the given question, on that time we shall take X as an element, every element of a set A. Similarly, when we shall talk about set B, we shall take Y as an every element of set B. So that you remember. Okay, so we'll show that if every element of set A lies in set B, then A will be a subset of B. Okay, here we cannot take all the elements of A, and second thing, we cannot fix the number of elements of A, so that's why we are taking one representative for all the element, that is our element X. Okay, second thing, the second rule which we will use over here, second rule is given here as, suppose if I say if A is subset of B, suppose there is a set is given to us and we say that A is a subset of B. Okay, then we can say that the set A will belong to power set of B. How we can say that, I will make you clear once. Suppose I say A is equal to, one example we can take in this regard. Suppose I say A is equal to, I have one element 1, okay, and B is equal to, we have two elements 1 comma 2. So can we say that here A is subset of B? Definitely, because all the elements of A lies in B. Okay, so one criteria, given criteria is over. Now we have to judge the result. Okay, so suppose if I write down the power set of B. Power set of B, you know it, I have explained you earlier. Power set means the collection of all subset of a given set. Okay, for example, I have given a set B over here, so I will make the collection of all the subset of B. So suppose if I am making the collection of subset, first of all it will come 1, then it will come 2, right, then I will write down second one as 2, third one as 1 comma 2, because now I will take both the element, and the last one is taken as 5. Okay, So now tell me, can we say that since 1 is an element of set P of B? Can we say like that? Here what is P of B? P of B is a power set of B. And what is 1 in the curly bracket? 1 in the curly bracket is equal to A. So we can say that A will belong to power set of B. So now remember this relation also. If I say A is a subset of B, then A will be definitely an element of power set of B. That I have proved with the help of one solved example. Right? Now let us see how we can go ahead in this question. This question we can solve by two parts. Okay. First part we will show in the first part. If I take here first part, I will show A is a subset of B. Okay, this question is a quite long question. Okay, so we'll take some time to finish it. Don't worry, some other question will be smaller and we'll definitely finish the required set of the question in a given time. So this question we need to spend some time. So suppose first part I am taking A is a subset of B. Then second part I will prove B is a subset of A. Okay, that we will prove with the help of given conditions and the given facts which were written earlier. Okay, so we will say that A will be a subset of B and B will be a subset of A. Both are true. In that case we'll say that A will be equal to B, because if A and B are equal, we can say that A will be subset of B and B will be also subset of A, because if A is a subset of B, then all the elements of A will lie in B. B is subset of A, then all the elements of B lie in A. And these two things simultaneously equal when they are equal to each other. Okay, so here both the parts we shall prove. First A subset of B, second part B subset of A. Then both the part we shall compile and we shall come to the conclusion A and B are equal over here. So see, these many phenomena are there in this whole question. Let us see how we can implement. Okay, so first case I will write down first part as a case number 1. So case number 1, first case. Okay, here I am going to assume let small x is an element of capital X and capital X is a subset of A. Means the set A is given to us, set A and B. So we are taking a relation in such a way, small x is an element of X and X is a subset of A. Okay, so one thing is very clear here. We can say that therefore we can say that X will be also an element of set A. That we can say, because if suppose that I say X coming in the capital X and capital X is coming in the set A, so definitely the element X will also be a part of set A. As you can see here, if I suppose I say 1 is coming in B and A is coming in B, then definitely 1 is also coming in A, means that is coming in that particular set also. Right? Now second thing, we shall start with the definition over here. We'll say since X is subset of A. Okay, now definition I am going to apply here. Observe, if I say that this definition I am talking about A is subset of B, then A will belong to power set of B. So if X is a subset of A, then I can say that X will belong to power set of A, right, according to the definition. Now X will belong to power set of B also, because P of A and P of B are given equal. We can see in the question that two things are given equal, so I am replacing P of A by P of B. Now if X is belonging to the power set of B, then what we can conclude? If X belong to the power set of B, then definitely we can say that X will be a subset of B. We can go in the reverse order, because see, in the initial steps we have done X is a subset of B, then definitely X will belong to the power set of A. But if X belong to power set of A, we can go reverse and we can say that X is a subset of A. Same condition we got here also. If I can say that X belong to the power set of B, then X will be a subset of B. And again I go little more reverse. I say if X is a subset of A, okay, then X will belong to set A because X is a part of capital X. So here similarly I can say if X subset of B, then small x means each and every element of X will be an element of B also. So from here what we have achieved? Observe, we have achieved if X belong to A implies that X will also belong to set B, that we can say. Therefore, we can say that A will be subset of B. This is our relation number 1. Once again, I will explain you. Please see it carefully. So, the second part is just a carbon copy. We can say Xerox of the first part over there. Okay, there is nothing new we are going to do in the second part. But the first part should be clear to you very well. Okay, so see here, first of all, what we have supposed? We have supposed let small x is an element of capital X, means here capital X will be a one set, and then capital X is also a subset of A. Then we can say that the element X which is a part of the capital X will be coming in the set A also, because this set X is a part of A. Okay, so in that case we can say that X will belong to A. Now I start with the definition. First of all, I am taking X is a subset of A, and we know that from the definition number second, if A is a subset of B, then A will belong to the power set of B. So similarly, if X is a subset of A, X will belong to the power set of A. Then power set of A I replace by power set of B because both are given equal. And now from here onwards we shall go in the reverse manner. We know that if X is a subset of A, X will belong to power set of A. But what if X belong to power set of B, then definitely if I go in the reverse manner, then X will be a subset of B. And we know that if X is a subset of B which contain the element X, small x over there, then small x will be also an element of set of B, because small x is a part of capital X and capital X is a part of set B. So X will be also a part of set B here. Now what we have achieved, in the beginning we have taken X belong to A. Now we got here X belong to B. So as I told you in the first part, look at the first part now. If X belong to A and X is belonging to set B, then definitely A will be a subset of B. Remember here X we are taking as an element. Each and every element of set A lies in set B over here. So we can say that A will be a subset of B. Now we are taking similar manner second part. Okay, let us see carefully. Again same fundamental I am applying here. So in the case number 2, second case, same way I am going to suppose, but now I am supposing with the side of B. Okay, so first I am taking let small y means each and every element lies in one set capital Y. And one more thing, capital Y I am taking as a subset of B. You can check I am going in the same manner. Therefore I can say that small y will be also an element of B, because capital Y is a part of B. Then small y which is part of capital Y will be also the part of set B over here. Now same way, first of all you can check I have taken here X is a subset of A, that I have taken. Same way I will take here, since Y is a subset of B, then apply the second point. If Y is a subset of B, then definitely Y will belong to the power set of B. So here I will write down Y will belong to the power set of B. And if Y belong to power set of B, I can say that Y will belong to the power set of A also, right? Now further if I go, then I can say that now from here I will start reversing my condition. If y will belong to the power set of A, definitely we can say that y, sorry, here I think I wrote small y. So instead of writing small y, I think it will come capital Y. So we can make the correction here. In hurry I wrote small y will belong to the power set of B, right? And then I can say that y will, sorry, y will be belonging to the power set of A also. Okay, and if y will belong to the power set of A, then y will be a subset of A. Okay, you can check both the things I wrote in the similar manner. In that case also, see, we have taken x belong to power set of A, then we got x belong to power set of B, and then we have written x is a subset of B. Same way you observe, I have written the same thing over here. Y will belong to the power set of B because it is a subset of B, and then y will belong to the power set of A because power set of A and power set of B are given equal. And if y belong to the power set of A, then definitely y will be a subset of A. And if y is a subset of A, we can say that small y belong to the set A because small y is a part of capital Y and capital Y is a part of A. So definitely small y will also come in A. So we can say that therefore y belong to set B that we have considered in the beginning only. In second case, you can check. Okay, so check in the second case, we have taken y belong to B. Okay, in the case number second. So what we have achieved here, we got y belong to B. We can say that we got here y is belonging to set A also, means each and every element of B is coming under A. So we can say here B is a subset of A. That is our relation number second. Now we can say that by first and second. By first and second, we can say that A will be equal to B, as I have told you earlier. Okay, if A is a subset of B and B is also subset of A, both the things we have proved, so we can say that A and B are equal over here. Okay, so little lengthy and little difficult question this is, so please see it once again. What if you required more and more explanation about this, so once again you can check the solution. Okay, now I am starting the next question. The next question is given here as question number 6. So let us start the sixth question. In the question number 6, they are asking, is it true that for any set A and B, P of A union P of B is equal to P of A union B? Justify your answer. Means, can we say that the union, if we take of power set A and power set B, will be equal to the power set of A union B? Is it possible? Can we say like that? So this we shall try to examine with the help of one of the example, and let us see this example gives us right result or not, because if this statement is right, it should be valid for all the examples I am going to consider. So if I am able to give one counter example who can prove the given statement false, we can say that this statement is not uniformly true each and every time, and hence the given statement will come into the category of false. Okay, because it should be true each and every time. So one example is enough to make the whole statement false if it gives a false result. Okay, so let us see how it is possible. In this question, first I am taking the example of set A. Let A is equal to 1 and B is equal to, I am taking here 2. There is not required to take common element between A and B. Okay, so now if I try to find out the power set of A, So power set of A will be equal to, first one will be A itself because we are making the collection of subset, and second one will be P of I. Second thing, if I try to find out in the similar way, P of B. So P of B will be equal to, here it can be written to 1 and second one it can be 5. Right? Now we shall find out the LHS. What is our left hand side? Left hand side is given to us P of A union P of B. So I want to compile the elements of P of A and P of B. So see, I am writing first the elements of P of A, that is 1, comma 5. Now I will write down those elements of P of B which has not appeared up till now. So that will be only 2 because 5 already I have mentioned. So this will be the final value of left hand side. Now we shall focus to find out the value of RHS. So to find out the value of RHS, first I need to find out the value of A union B because directly I need to find out its power set. So A union B is equal to 1 comma 2 will be there. Only two elements are there in A and B. So if I compile them, it will come A union B 1 comma 2. Now let us find out the value of RHS. So what is the RHS over here? P of A union B. Okay. So power set of A union B means the collection of all the subset. So let us try to make the subset of A union B. First one will be only 1 because single element can also form the subset. So 1 and 2 will be the two subset. Third one will be, I will take both of them. So 1 comma 2 and last one will be 5. So this will be the value of RHS. Now suppose if I give this one as first and this one as second, so I can say that by first and second, okay, here I will write down by equation first and second, we can say that LHS is not equal to RHS. Observe, they are not equal because here 1 and 2 are coming, still 1 and 2 and 5, okay, but what about this 1 comma 2? This is not a part of the LHS. So we can say that therefore P of A union P of B is unequal to P of A union B, that we can see, right? So we can say with the help of counter example, the statement is false. Okay. At last we'll write down therefore given statement is false. Okay. Now let us see the further question, sorry. So here next question is given as, Acha, before that we'll see some definition. From before I start question number 7, I will take some definition and then I will proceed to the question number 7. Okay. So for one by one, I will explain you some definitions, some rules over here, which is essentially required in the question number 7. So first one I am taking here, that is called as distributive law. This already we have covered. Sorry, I will write down once again. Distributive law. Okay, so this law already we have covered in one of the question earlier. So once again we can see it. Suppose I say if you want to do this calculation 2 into the bracket 3 plus 4, okay, if I say don't add 3 and 4, you can multiply 2 inside and then you can add. So how will you do it? You will write down here 2 into 3 plus 2 into 4 and then you will do the further calculation. So observe 2 into you have distributed here on 3 as well as on 4. Same way, suppose if we have given that A intersection B union C, okay, So here A intersection I will distribute on B as well as on C, and the sign between 3 and 4, that is plus, is coming here as it is. Okay, so see, A intersection that I am distributing, so 2 into same as A intersection, then B will come. Okay, what is a sign between B and C? That is union. So now I will write down union. These two terms I will put up in the bracket. Similarly, then I will write down A intersection C. Okay, so this will be called as the distributive law. Now the second law which I need to discuss with you. So here second law is given, A minus B is equal to A intersection B dash. Okay, these two laws, sorry, these two terms are always equal. Okay, if you want to get checked, definitely you can check with the help of some example. You can take the elements in set A and set B, and then you can find out these two things are coming equal. Because a time bound over here, I cannot explain you this two things are equal with the help of example. I hope that you can take it by your own and you can do it. Okay, otherwise believe it, these two things are always equal. Second, the third thing is over here, A union A dash is equal to always universal set. Okay, this I will explain with the help of solve example. Suppose U is equal to 1, 2 and 3. Suppose if I say A is equal to 1 comma 2. Okay, then what will be the value of A dash here? A dash will be actually those elements will come of U which is not a part of A, means subtract the elements of A from U, then what will remain? Only remaining is 3, right? Because if I subtract the element of A 1 comma 2 from U, then remaining is here 3. Now if I try to find out the value of A union A dash, then it will be definitely equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. So that is equal to the universal set. So remember, A union A dash will be equal to universal set. Then fourth one is A intersection U. Sorry, A intersection U, means if I take the intersection between A and U, here only you observe, this is our U, this is our A. If I take the intersection between A and U, what I will get? A intersection U is equal to 1 comma 2 only. Okay, that is the common element, and 1 comma 2 is equal to here A. So remember, intersection between universal set and any other set, result will be the another set. Suppose next time if I say B intersection U, so B intersection U will be equal to again B. Okay, and then one last result we shall discuss here. Fifth one, if I say that A is equal to A intersection B. Okay, suppose if we get this kind of condition, the intersection of two set is equal to the one of the set A, then in that case we will say definitely A will be a subset of B. How? Suppose I take here one example, B is equal to suppose I take B is equal to 2. Let's see it works or not. So A intersection B, okay, A intersection B should come equal to A. So see, here I need to take B is equal to 1 comma 2 only, then only their intersection will come equal to A. Okay, and then we can say that A will be a subset of B. A intersection B, wait, we'll take the example in such a way. Suppose if I take B is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. Now you judge. Okay, observe, suppose if I take A is equal to 1 comma 2 and B is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. Suppose if I ask you what is the value of A intersection B, so you will say that A intersection B is equal to 1 comma 2, which is equal to A, right? So now this condition is satisfied. We can say that A intersection B is equal to A. then definitely we can say that A will be a subset of B. Observe, A contains 1 comma 2 while B contains 1 comma 2 comma 3. So A will be a subset of B, right? So this also you remember, it would be required in some other question. Now let us start the question number 7. In the question number 7, see what we have given. We have given that show that for any sets A and B, A is equal to A intersection B union A minus B, and A union B minus A is equal to A union B. So let us take the first part. I am taking the part number 1. Let us prove how it is possible. Whatever the definitions I have explained to you just now, this all will be required to utilize. Okay, so let us see the part number 1. In the part number 1, I am taking their right hand side and I will bring the left hand side. So A intersection B union A minus B. Okay, now see, just now I have explained A minus B, we have done in the previous. A minus B is equal to A intersection B dash. Okay, so in place of A minus B, I will write down A intersection B, I am writing as it is, and union A minus B, I can write down A intersection B dash. Now in the distributive law, as we multiply A intersection inside, similar way we can take common also. For example, suppose it is written like this, 2 into 3 plus 2 into 4. Okay, so this 2 and into, if I take common, then this will be 2 into the bracket 3 plus 4. We can bind them again, as we can expand it again, we can convert into the original form. Same way you observe here, A intersection is given here also and A intersection is given here also. Okay, so A intersection I am taking common. So what will remain in the bracket? From here it will remain B. Then sign between both of them is union, because here sign is given union. B union B dash. Okay, that will remain. You can say this we have done by the distributive law. By distributive law. Now similar way we can say that A intersection will be as it is. Okay, and just now I have explained you A union A dash. So what is the value of A union A dash? If you compile A and A dash, suppose if you try to find out A union A dash, it will be definitely equal to A. Sorry, it will be definitely equal to U. Okay, intersection will be different. So A union A dash will be equal to here universal set U. So we can take here A intersection with universal set. Right? Now, if I take A intersection with universal set, see, U is suppose 1, 2, 3. Okay, and A is suppose only 1. So what can be the A intersection U? That will be definitely 1, and which is equal to A. So we can say that it will be also equal to set A. Intersection between an universal set and any other set will be equal to A. That also I think we have covered just now. Now let us see the part number 2. The second part I am taking here. Second part I will take left hand side. First of all, let us see the second part. Do we take left hand side? Because left hand side is looking little lengthier than the right hand side. Right hand side is simple A union B. So I will take A union B minus E. Okay. So let us take the left hand side. Left hand side is given here as A union. Left hand side is given as A union B minus E. Okay, and as you can see, the formula I have utilized it earlier. A minus B is equal to A intersection B. Look at the right top corner. A minus B is equal to A intersection B dash. So same way, if I wish to write down the value B minus A. So B minus A, what I can write down? B intersection A dash. Second set will come with a dash symbol. That you remember. Okay, so now in the similar way, now if I apply the distributive law as I have applied earlier, so observe A union I am distributing on B as well as on A dash. So this will become A union B, one set, then intersection, because B and A dash symbol is A dash over here, and then again it will come A union A dash. Right, this I have applied with the help of distributive law. Okay, now let us see. A union B will be as it is for some time. Okay, because union between A and B, there is no special law we have, but we have a law for A union A dash. You can look at there. A union A dash is equal to universal set, and this set for some time, if I suppose A, so A intersection U, just now we found A intersection U is equal to A. So A union B intersection U will be again equal to A union B, because A union B is also one of the set that can be taken as A for some time. So here I can say that the intersection between A union B and universal set will be equal to A union B, and this is only your, what we can say, right hand side. Okay, so this way you can prove the given question. Okay, now let us see the next question, question number 8. Today's session will be little longer because I want to finish the questions of properties of set. So now two more questions are remaining, so we shall finish it quickly, these two questions. Okay, so next time we can start the questions on Venn diagrams. Then we will have to spend some time on applications. Application we may require minimum 3 sessions more. So this chapter will continue this week as well as the next week also. Okay, so we have to continue because this much depth in this chapter it will have. Then second chapter we shall start, that will be not having that many questions. Okay, now see the question number 8. They are saying again with the help of properties of set you prove it. So I am taking the first part. First part I am taking left hand side. Okay, as is well the seventh part. 7 question we have done. So A union A intersection B we need to prove equal to A. So I will apply the distributive law here first. So A union A, then intersection with A union B. Right, because A union I have distributed on A as well as on B, and sign between them I applied intersection here. A union A, union of a set itself will give the result A only. Okay, that I don't think it is required to explain. Intersection with A union B, now what will be the result? Intersection of A and A union B. Let us take one example. Suppose I take example A is equal to 1, 2, B is equal to 2, 3. Now, if I find out first A union B, so A union B will be equal to here 1, 2, 3. Right? Now, if I try to find out A intersection with A union B, remember we will take common element between A and A union B. So common elements between that two set is 1, 2, and it is equal to set A, we can see. So here we can say it is equal to A, and hence we got the right hand side. Now let us take similarly in the second part left hand side again. So LHS is equal to A intersection A union B. Okay, So again apply the distributive law. So this will be A intersection A, then union will come, and again A intersection B, right? Now A intersection A, intersection of set itself will be again A only, union also will be again union only, because the elements will be same. So here we can say that this will remain A union A intersection B. Suppose I take the above example only, and here I find out A intersection B. So A intersection B is equal to here 2. Look at the elements of A and B. So definitely we'll say that intersection is 2, because 2 is the only common element between them. Now if I take the union of A intersection B and A, okay, find out the union between A and A intersection B. So look at here, this is A and this is my A intersection B. So first I will write down the elements of A, that is 1 comma 2. Then I will write down the elements of A intersection B which has not appeared up till now, so that I can see every elements of A intersection B already there. So 1 comma 2 will be the union of A and A intersection B, and that is again equal to set A. So we can say that it is equal to the set A, and this is only the required RHS. Okay, you can check in the question further. We need to prove it equal to A only in the second part. So this way we have completed the question number 8. Now let us see quickly the last question of today's session, that is question number 9. Yes, now let us see the question number 9. In the ninth question, see what we have given, that let A and B be the given sets. A intersection X is equal to B intersection X is equal to 5. And we have given that one more thing, A union X is equal to B union X, whereas X is some set over there. Okay, then we have to show that A and B are equal. So let us see how we can prove it. This question also we shall prove in the similar way as we have done the question number 5, that we have proved A is a subset of B, B is a subset of A, then A and B both are equal. Okay, the same procedure we shall follow here. First of all, let's see, we shall take here one given things to us. We have given that A union X is equal to B union X, that is given to us in the question. Now what I am doing here, I am considering A intersection on both the sides. So A intersection A union X, as you can assume here, we multiply by 2 on both the sides, we divide by 3 on both the sides. Same way in the set I am taking A intersection on both the sides. So A intersection A union X and A intersection B union X, right? Now A intersection A union X I am opening with the help of distributive law. So this will become here A intersection A. Okay, it is going on the first set, then symbol between the two sets is union, and then again it will come A intersection X, right? Similarly, let us open the right hand side also. So A intersection B, one part, union is the sign between both of them, and then it will come A intersection X. Now see, in the question we have given that already the value of A intersection X and A intersection X here also, that is given equal to 5. You can check in the given, A intersection X is given equal to 5. So both the term we can replace it by 5, and as we have done in the previous question, A intersection A is always equal to A, because intersection with the same set, then it will equal to the set A. Union A intersection X is equal to 5. Similarly, A intersection B union, this will also remain as 5, we can say. Okay, so this we can say, since we have given that A intersection X is equal to, we have given 5. Now 5 means what actually? 5 is an empty set, and union of any set with an empty set, that will again equal to A only. Same thing will happen here also. A and A intersection B union with phi. So that will again become A intersection B, because from phi they are not getting any element. So ultimately the value will be equal to A intersection B only. And I have told you in the definition, if A is equal to A intersection B, then definitely A will be a subset of B. I will show you the last definition we have covered today. Okay, so once we can check. See, in the definition section, we have covered it, this definition. Observe here. This definition number 5, which I put the tick mark. If A is equal to A intersection B, then A will be a subset of B. You can check, I have taken the example as well. Right? So this you can see it once again because I have explained you earlier. Now the same definition I am taking it over here. So here in the ninth question we got A and A intersection B are equal. So what we can say here, then in that case A will be a subset of B. This is our relation number 1. Now once again I will take A union X is equal to B union X. So here I will write down again A union X is equal to B union X, that I am taking it again. But now instead of taking A intersection, I am taking this time B intersection. So B intersection A union X is equal to B intersection again B union X. Right? Now we shall apply the distributive law. So if I apply the distributive law, B intersection with first set, that is A, then sign between both of them is union, and again B intersection, it will come at here X. Similarly again here if I apply, so B intersection B and then union B intersection X. Okay, so distributive law as we have applied in the earlier questions, same way I have applied here also. Now B intersection A I can write down as A intersection B also, because intersection between two sets is applicable under the commutative law. Commutative law, I hope you know it from the earlier classes. So here same way B intersection A and A intersection B will be always equal. Union B intersection X is given equal to phi in the question. So B intersection X I am putting here phi. B intersection B is always equal to B, as you know that. Union B intersection X again become to phi. Now if you take union of one set with phi, the answer will be that set only. So here we will get A intersection B and here we will get B. And now again you observe, if A was equal to A intersection B, then A will be subset of B. Similarly, now if B will be equal to A intersection B, so I can say that therefore now B will be subset of A intersection B. This is your second relation, and you see here you observe, sorry, B will be a subset, sorry, here I wrote wrong. B will be a subset of A. Okay, so we can say like that. So now this will be our second relation, and now as I said to you in the beginning, we shall prove A is a subset of B and B is also a subset of A. So we can say therefore by relation first and second, we can say B is equal to A, and that was only required to prove in the question. Okay, so students, we have finished the questions of properties of the set. I know it, these questions are not so simple and maybe I am not convincible for you 100%, but don't worry, with this kind of question, if required, we shall do it again in the future. Okay, as and when time will be required, time will be available, then we will solve this question again. Okay, but you try to see this questions explanation one time more, definitely you will be able to understand very clearly. Okay, next time we shall start now the Venn diagram and followed by the application of the set. Okay, thank you.